Hello ladies and gents and welcome to the Tanaan jungle. The scenario, well, it's not really a scenario, it's certainly shared amongst everybody or as many people as possible. And it's about the size of a quarter zone, and this is the join, the link, the bridge between expansions. This is what you're going to be hit with in the face the minute you buy WoD of Draenor. This is what's tying the whole thing together. Here's the time travel. Now I'm going to keep this relatively spoiler free, and I truly recommend you try not to watch people stream this if you're even remotely interested in having some nice surprises and fun when you start WoD of Draenor, because I know everybody's going to be showing it off as much as possible. So here it is, guys, look at it in detail. I would really, truly try and avoid that. It's silly. It's so silly. It's tongue-in-cheek to the max, and I'm not sure if they were going for it, but it's Blizzard. Come on. We, at some point in this game, many of you have ridden a giant gnome death ball where you had to attach 1,000 gnomes to your fiery grip of death. You know, we've done that kind of thing, and this opener to WoD of Draenor knows what it's doing. It knows what it's doing. So, things I don't consider spoilers are there are major lore characters. We're obviously going back in time. You've seen most of them already. It's hard to not know who's in it. It's on the frigging picture of the box, for Christ's sake. So, you know there are major lore characters, and you also know it takes place at the Dark Portal, which is going to be our time travel machine, which apparently runs on Agony. Yes, Agony is one of our utilities in order to power this Dark Portal machine. It's powered by Agony, which is just wonderful. Absolutely joyous. Where this source of Agony comes from, we just don't know. So, what is it? This is basically the travel through time back to the past, and then we're trying to close the Dark Portal to prevent the Iron Horde from getting more guys and blah, 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 blah. And that's generally the gist of it. And after that, we're just trying to get a little bit of a presence inside of Draenor and settle up and escape our roaming bandits of orcs that are really not very pleased to see us in any way, especially the Iron Horde themselves, who particularly want to cut off your balls and string them around their necks. So that's what's going on. It looks chaotic, right? It's mental. The initial thing was very confusing to me. I've got to say, the initial quest, and you can clearly see it's unfinished. There are even missing textures on the steps. They didn't get those in the game yet before we started testing it. There's a lot of placeholder stuff. The entire thing is extremely mini-event ridden, right? It's very mini-event ridden. Lots of little cutscenes. Lots of like, here's this character, here's this character. It's actually a nice way to kick off. You can clearly see how targeted this is at the people who play Warcraft 3. My God, did they know who their audience is for WoD of Draenor? It's like, did you play Warcraft 3? Did you play World of Warcraft? Did you play some of the Burning Crusade? Right, come here, watch this. Come and play this game, because it's action-packed, there's loads going on, and plus it's full of all your favourite characters, and it's still funny. Now, the funny side of it, what's the funny side of it? Well, again, without spoiling too much, sometimes you end up in a group, and I'll show you this here, because it is the major lore characters, where you're all travelling together in a little pack. You tell me that doesn't look like the Anthill mob, right? Or something from Animaniacs. Because every time I saw it, I just thought, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely stupidity. As you go on this endless little chase around this zone with your big bunch of famous superheroes all sort of scurrying around like rats trying to hide in caves. It very much felt like quests from Warcraft 3. It's exactly what it felt like. Even the little cutscenes were very reminiscent of Warcraft 3. It's entirely designed around that ethos, right? That is their goal. That is their purpose, is to go, it's so Warcraft 3, it frigging hurts. It's painful. Get in there, get stuck in. And in between that, they've just stuck some very normal quests in. So that's the general gist of it, spoiler free. Now, is it any good? Is it any good? I've got to say, the beginning of the thing, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'll be totally honest with you guys. When I kicked off and I was in front of the Dark Portal, there were 8 million Iron Horde kicking ass and taking names, and it gave me some quest to collect some orders from some guy who seemed to be randomly dotted about the place. It was just madness. I didn't know what was going on. They were throwing character names at me that I was like, oh, I know that guy. Like, very much like a concert where you're like, I know this song, I know that one, after 4 or 5 songs where you don't know what's going on. Oh, there's Terran Gorfiend. Oh, there's Cho'Gall. That's fantastic. It looks beautiful, though. If you look in the background there, it's absolutely astounding. Absolutely astounding, the stuff they've got going on there. And it was kind of fun. I didn't know what was going on. And then we got to go through the Dark Portal into the jungle and begin our little journey. It is pretty good. It's got to be said. It is pretty good. I was very worried, as you guys know. I talked about the other 2 zones and how the initial setting up your garrison I thought was kind of a weak start for WoD of Draenor. And I was really hoping they had a strong start. I think this could be it. this could be it, because it is so Blizzard. It's not just Warcraft, it's very Blizzard. It's very old school Blizzard. It's very much the Blizzard we liked and adored, where it was just cool, action-packed, and silly. At the same time, it's still a game. It didn't take itself too seriously. It was thoroughly prepared to throw in a full Harrison Jones series of quests, thoroughly prepared to throw in references from movies, from little cartoons, from anything they wanted to do in order just to have a good time. And it has got a little bit serious over the last few years. Cataclysm was very, very serious. It was all very doom and gloom. Mists of Pandaria was all very much, you know, we're saying by the Shah of Fear and the Shah of Doubt and all this kind of stuff going on. And there wasn't that much comedy thrown in. There was little hits and bits here and there. But it's nice. You can almost feel that the older devs who went over to Titan, who then came back to World of Warcraft, maybe had a bit more input here to say, you know, you're lacking just the little spark that made our games fun. Yeah, we were serious. Yeah, we had cool moments. Yeah, we had all that kind of stuff going on. But we're also gamers at the end of the day. And we're all into these little fun things. And if you can make it a little bit silly and a little bit fun, and then work into really good events and intersperse those quite well, you get something quite nice. I started confused and I ended with a big smile on my face. And I think that's a great way to start the expansion. Whether you get a lot out of this game, out of the beginning, if you don't know most of the characters, I don't think there's anybody really like that anymore. That's one of the questions I was asking myself is, God, this is so, here's that guy. Will people get this? And then you've got to remember that people have been farming transmog gear and all that kind of stuff for a very, very long time now. So even the new players who have probably gone back and started clearing things like the Black Temple or at least some TBC raids, are certainly going to know these characters and actually go, oh yeah, I know that guy. So I think on many levels it actually really works. I think it works out quite well, even if you weren't invested in Warcraft 3 or the Warcraft universe from even Warcraft 1 where Blackhand shows his face. I think if you were invested from that time and a new player, I think you're going to get a lot out of this, because even if you don't know everybody, it doesn't matter, because there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of little cutscenes, lots of little mini events that are just, and then the little silliness in between, and the only minor quests in there, which are kind of classic Warcraft questing, are only a couple. They really wanted to kill some mobs, collect this blueprint, right, off to the next really fun thing. I'm pretty impressed by it, I've got to say. Pretty impressed by it. Well played. Really well played. I think it's going to be a solid start to Warlords of Draenor. Try and avoid spoiling it for yourselves if you can, if it's not already too late. Alright guys, bye.